One nation set apart, battle axe, Finahaz, Akmalak, Torah, Kwan, Yasharala.
Xavier Jordan. That
Better be safe out here. Yeah, you better be safe out here. Hey. They got agents out here, but Christ on my side ain't got no fear. Hey. Better be safe out here. Yeah, you better be safe out here. Hey. They got agents out here, but Christ on my side ain't got no fear. Hey. Say what you want, you can call me crack. But I don't even trust my next door name. This technology they gon' major. They watch us through the TV while we cut the cake. Hit my cell, but my phone taps. I think the boys on the line, man. I call back, but I'm still hearing static when I call back. If I ain't doing something right, what you call that? And I see them everywhere I go, everywhere I go. They there at the corner of the grocery store, at the corner of the grocery store. They stare, and I gotta keep the laws, and I can use Christ as my head. Yeah, we gotta stay alert. Wait, who is that peeking over there? Then the boys better watch out, saying sending decoys. Rain of these, y'all still gon' get destroyed. And it don't matter how many troops they deploy. When you catch them spying on you, man, they can't stand this. It was a Edomite, I caught them red-handed. They won't run up on you cause they can't fight. No slipping, I'm on my toes like a hand fight. Better be safe out here. Yeah, you better be safe out here. Hey. They got agents out here, but Christ on my side ain't got no fear. Hey. Better be safe out here. Yeah, you better be safe out here. Hey. They got agents out here, but Christ on my side ain't got no fear. Hey. Had to make a long ride on the highway. Then his red car put beside me. He looked once, then looked twice. Then he started looking at me sideways, like he wanted to run me off the road. I'm scared I was comfortable, like putting on the road. Must have been in the country, there was no traffic. So I slowed down, just so he could pass me. When I slowed down, he slowed down, was thinking maybe he'll get off at the next town. Driving slow like I was in the cab. My word, he followed me for like an hour and a half. And that was confirmation. Then it started raining. He lost me. Real talk, I wouldn't lie. Seen the same car sitting under the bridge, waiting on me until I drove by. He got a good look at my place. Tell the Prince of Bel-Air I'm an enemy of the state. Feel like Abraham, no, not Lincoln. See the Abraham in my jeans and then y'all think this. Don't be trying to take me, and if you take a picture, well, it better be HD, just in case they recording while I'm recording. And the most high rap, you gon' get your Porsche. Better be safe out here. Yeah, you better be safe out here. Hey. They got agents out here, but Christ on my side ain't got no fear. Hey. Better be safe out here. Yeah, you better be safe out here. Hey. They got agents out here, but Christ on my side ain't got no fear. Hey.
Kwam Yasharala. All praises to the Most High, and giving blessing, honor, glory, and power be to Him that sits upon the throne, and to the Lamb forever and ever, man.
Aman.
Yeah, I was on the phone, and so that the phone call gave me the inspiration to go ahead and handle this one. So the title of this is why David did not die immediately for adultery. All right. Well, first we know with the scriptures, just paraphrasing here, that you can't put anyone to death but with 2 or 3 witnesses. All right. That's the first and foremost. Secondly, you cannot lay a hand upon the Most High's anointed. What? You cannot lay a hand upon the Most High's anointed and not be guiltless. So when David, yeah, I said it. So when David committed adultery, he was still anointed by Yahweh at that time. Which made it to where, huh?
Wakan.
Khan. Which made it to where no one was qualified to be able to put them hands on David himself. So he got judged by God. So when I was speaking with a brother and he was saying things like, that's hypocrisy. I said, no, it's actually legit. Because can't nobody lay a hand upon the anointed. So who was qualified to cast a stone at David? Absolutely no one. Even David, his own enemy, Shaul, when he was fighting with that dude, he still, when he had the opportunity to kill him, he still didn't lay a hand on him. He instead cut his garment. Let him know, like, man, I could have touched you. I was that close. But he knew, like, but can't nobody lay a hand upon the Most High anointed and be guiltless. Let's get that. Look at it right here. Let me share that screen. Boom. Right here, 1 Samuel. We're going to read 24, 6, 10, 6 and 10, right? And then we're going to go down to 26 and 9. And he said unto his men, the Lord forbid that I should do this thing unto my master, Yahweh's anointed, to stretch forth my hand against him, seeing he is the anointed of Yahweh. So you cannot put your hand onto a king. So my question would be, who at that time was qualified to stone King David? Absolutely no one.
Wakan.
He says that, and then at 24 and 10, behold, this day, your eyes have seen how that the Most High Yahweh has delivered you today into my hand in the cave. And some bade me to kill you, but my eyes spared you. And I said, I will not put forth my hand against my Lord, for he is Yahweh's anointed. All right?
Khan.
That's the same standard that was set with David in the altercation that he had with his enemy, because his enemy was a king too. He was an anointed of God. Talk about the King Shaul from the 10 tribes. And then we had David. He's like, man, I can't put my hand on the king of Israel. He said, and David said to Abishai or Abishai, however you say that. He said, destroy him not, for who can stretch forth his hand against Yahweh's anointed and be guiltless? What? You cannot. It says, the Lord forbid that I should stretch forth my hand against Yahweh's anointed. But I pray you, take thou now the spear that is in his bolster and the cruse of water, and let us go. In other words, man, drop that bullshit doctrine now. When people sitting around here talking about God was unfair, it was inequality when it came to David and all that. No, David was the Most High's anointed. Couldn't nobody put their hand on him. That was already established. That was already decreed amongst those people. So this has nothing to do with injustice. This actually has something to do with holding up to the standard that was set. It's really just that type of simple explanations that is required for a foolish, wicked man's excuse, because that's what it comes down to. It comes down to a foolish, wicked man's excuse to try to disqualify the righteousness of God. We are not to get deceived with these people's tactics that is derived from ignorance. These are all tactics that comes from the area of them not knowing pretty much jack squat. You get it?
Con.
That right there was clear. That was a clear breakdown. That's the reason why. So all kinds of other things transpired to that dude. His baby died. All kinds of stuff. You know? Oh, what's happening, man? Oh, that's real talk, real talk podcast. What's cracking? Maranatha Shalom. Yeah, so that right there just ends the whole thing. Can't nobody sit here and try to say that the Most High God is unjust and that he actually gave David some unjust and uncalled for leniency, guess we can say, to say the least.
Yeah, yeah. Who are they to speak on the Most High anyway and what he does? That's just what he do. They ain't nothing.
Right. And they try to make it seem like he wasn't judged. He that dude definitely went through the blues. He received a thorough correction of the Most High God, man. As the king. That dude, he fought all the days of his life.
Who, David?
Yeah, David had to fight a lot.
You talked about because he sent that dude to the front line, got killed because he was looking at his wife, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. Read that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So he did get judged for that. It's just there was no possible way that anybody else could have actually had the qualifications to do that. Right. The real talk said, who are we to say what's just? Oh, that when we were made from dust. That's real. Well,
Con.
people get ahead of themselves. That's some real talk right there, because a lot of people, they get ahead of themselves. They'll go off thinking all of a sudden now they know what's right and what's wrong, and you know what I mean. And then try to look at God or look at something in the Bible. Honestly, they'll try to look at something in the Bible. It won't be a commandment or anything. He won't be saying that this is what we how we should get down. They will just find an incident in the Bible and then try to pin it next to unrighteousness and disqualification and all this slandering that they want to do. But honestly, when it comes down to at the end of the day, man, it's just because they hell bent on wickedness. There's just some areas that they know that it's at compromise when you are sitting there saying these things about, hey, hey, God is real. Hey, man, you gotta start abiding by God, or you're gonna have some negative things in your life. They looking at you, they're like, man, this dude right here is basically telling me I'm about to quit X and X. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it is. Man, I ain't trying to stop this, whatever that is, that blank. Fill in the blank that goes with that. They like, oh no, man, you dude, if I have to do that, I'm gonna have to give up all this, such and such. You know? That's why a lot of people behind the stuff that they do, you'll see it'll be derived coming from ignorance or excuse, justifications. It says right here, we go into the book of Sirach. I want to get it. I'm gonna share my screen. Matter of fact, I'm gonna share the screen, and we're gonna go to the book of Sirach. Watch this. Bear with me because the computer is running kind of slow. Because I got a lot of programs up. Yeah, see, it's still not responding. Hold on. That's why I'm trying to put some music into the background just so I can at least, while we're waiting here for this wheel to keep spinning. All right. All right. We're gonna go to we're gonna go to the Apocrypha, and right here, as we get up into the Apocrypha, we're gonna see that, man. When you're seeing a lot of these things that people are saying, it's because they don't want to. You are compromising their whole little thing that they trying to steal away with. That's and really what it really comes down. Why back with these things, man? Like, a bunch of people with a lot of excuses, and this stuff is going to be deriving from their wickedness. They know that you're right. They know what you're saying is the truth. Yet they fight tooth and nail because, man, you're attacking something that they are trying to tame with a sinful way. One or two, maybe three. But watch this. Man, what's going on? What's going on? All right. We got Sirach 32 and 17. If I can get this thing to respond. Come on, come on, come on. Damn. Like, but finds an excuse according to his will. Finds an excuse according to their will, man. And that's exactly what it is. These people, they say, oh man, well, King David, he committed adultery. Like, so we got to throw out all of the meat of the Bible because somebody made a mistake. What about the part that King David bounced back twice as strong for the Most High God? Even though he knew that he was going to be punished for the sins that he committed, that still didn't make it to where that brother fell off the game. That brother was like, all right, I'm going to take my blows. You know what I'm saying? But I'm going to have to still hold to the Most High God, and that even stronger. We don't. That was a lesson for us to learn that even if we become into a high position or state of being, whether it's economically or whether it's through strength, it don't matter what it is. But whatever it is that you acquire and you become great, and then you gravitate yourself to God, and then as you gravitate yourself to God, you make a mistake, just as these brothers has done throughout the scriptures time after time. You make a mistake. It's not for you to fall off. You don't fall off at that moment. Don't and you don't lose your allegiance with God when you start realizing that you have been and you are currently being punished for some of the things that you've done. You don't do that. That's basically like, say somebody in the game and they know that they did something in violation of the game's rules. And then when the game says, all right, well, we got to do the disciplinary action that we have, whatever it is, the person just like, so you know what? On second thought, I'm just going to go ahead and just quit. Like, what? Like, nah, I'm just going to quit. I don't want to have nothing to do with none of this. I'm done. They're like, oh, no, that's not how it works. Just like you joining the military. You get into the military, same thing. Okay, some people are like, well, I don't like gangs. Fully. I'm like, okay, bad example. We'll get into the military then. This is what the United States government got set up for you. You go into their gang. And it's the same thing. You join their gang and everything might be fine and dandy and you're going to get into a high position and power, all that. But the moment that you make a mistake, yeah, you might get demoted or you might have to have some type of, go through some type of reprimanding. But it's not for you to quit. And you can't just quit. You have to serve out your term, man. You gotta stay putting in your work. Same thing, man. It's basically the man got that from God. Whether they utilized it and tapped in through the Bible, or it just came quote unquote naturally, just upon just thought and planning. But either way it goes, that concept is derived from God. And he shows us that throughout the scriptures that we ain't supposed to be falling off. You know what I'm saying? When especially when you about to get tripped on, you don't fall off, or you see that you getting judged or something. You stay strong with the Most High power, because at the end of the day, He will hold up His covenant and He shows mercy unto those that turn unto Him wholeheartedly. Man, He's abundant in mercy. So don't let nobody sitting around here turn around and turn the King David thing into no justification to commit sin. I mean, not commit sin, but justification to disacknowledge the Bible or put any type of try to throw dirt on the Most High God's name. You got the game twisted. And I made this video so people can have that response. You be like, oh no, man, let me take you to 1 Kings 26 real quick. 1 Samuel 26 is real quick. They be like, what? Like, see, look, man, can't be laying no hand on God's anointed. Who was able to lay their hands on God's anointed at the time when that transpired with King David? And that's when you got them. That's where they're done. They be like, who? Damn, that nigga just busted me upside my head with that one. What's this nigga named Snoop Doggy Dogg? That nigga definitely oops upside my head. That's definitely what popped off. You know? That's what it's all about. That's that's oh, you can hit that link. Uh Real talk if you want to. All you gotta do is just press this button right here. These lines that line right there that says HTTPS StreamYard. All you gotta do is just hit that button, tap on that, and it'll bring you into this, and we can have a conversation on here, get it going. But he said I'm gonna respond to check out some of these things you said right here. He says, well, when you tell people things about God and what He's going to do, it is if they do not believe you because it doesn't happen right away. That's like putting a bunch of paper towels in your toilet, and then, yes, some of them will flush or as a good one, and He will work for a while, and then all of a sudden, it will clog. Con. That's right. It will clog and backfire on you, flood your whole house. And that is how the righteousness, yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, that is real. And that is how the righteousness will flood. Correction, it would flood the earth, and a lot of people are not ready for that. That's real, man. That's a good one. I like that analogy. You said it's just like a toilet. You say you just stuff it with toilet paper. You keep putting toilet paper in there, yeah, it will flush a little bit. And then after that, you said it's not only gonna flood your whole house, it's gonna backfire on you and everything. I'm like, that's real, man. That was a good one. So, people not realizing that when you see on the scripts, they don't understand the implication of them. They think that it's only about just like, hey, do this and don't do that, don't do this and do that because, and they thinking it's because we're supposed to lack. It's talking to somebody I guess lacks common sense and moral compass. And I had to explain to the brother. I said, no, that's not what the book is. The ultimate intention for it. Like, even though it does do that, it does give people a better guide of moral compass. Yeah, but the real implications thereof. Watch this. Let me see. I'm gonna try to share the screen. The real meat of the book is this. Watch this. We're gonna go to Exodus chapter 19. This is most high power, most as we love ourselves. This is before he gave any rules, terms to this covenant, to this contract that he laid out on Mount Sinai. This is what he says. Now he's telling them, now therefore, if you obey my voice, indeed. So you got to obey his voice, not in just hearing, but in doing. That's what indeed means, put it into action. So if you obey his voice and keep my covenant, then you shall be a peculiar treasure unto me above all people, because all the earth is mine. And this above all people is in all areas that you can conceive, physically, economically, financially, socially, educationally, like whatever Oli you want to think of, man. Whatever Oli that comes to mind, you know. We're supposed to be excelling in all those things. He says, he said, and this is another thing that comes with it. He said, and you shall be unto me a kingdom of priests and a holy nation. All right. So that's what the whole thing boils down to trying to accomplish. We got to move towards being a holy nation. You see the word holy right there? This word holy. Watch this. Wait, what happened? What happened? I'm trying to get the word holy. Oh, boom. Salaki. All right. Kadash. All right. The word. Watch slow. We're going to get through it. You shall be an angel. Like Anna. What? That's what we're supposed to be. It'll turn you into angelic, saint, like people, royal, to be honored by all people. This is something that's actually a high, I'm talking about, man, it gives you a real high title of position, man. Supposed to be absolute. You know what I mean? It's to make you of God as separate, apart, and sacred, and exalted on a theophanic throne. You feel me? In other words, royal. This is to keep you within the guidelines of operation and operating as a royal individual, having your mind right, having your temper in check, where you can actually utilize patience, even though these some people might become very, very difficult in communication. Like when you see a judge, you don't see judges at court. At least, you know what I mean, for the most part, I'll say. For the most part, 95% of the time, you don't see judges sitting on that podium losing his cool over what he heard. You know what I'm saying? He hears, oh man, this guy's up in here. He was running in the streets. He was on some drugs. He didn't hit somebody with his car, hurt some people inside of it, took off, fought the police, spit on everybody, came to jail, started fighting the guards, fought the inmates, did all this stuff. And then the judge is sitting there, I'm talking about still, just cool, calm, and collected, as if you ain't said nothing. Just looking at you, looking at him that's talking, looking at back and forth. You're like, oh, that's how we're supposed to be. When people are sitting around here, like, say, your wife is talking smack, saying, hey, you and this and that and this, and wow, you know, whatever it is that, you know, saying might get on somebody's nerves, where some, you know, so-called black man might call himself, and then I flashed. Well, no, you're not supposed to flash. This book right here trains you on how not make the wrong moves in those type of altercations by the constant reminding that, no, hey man, you gotta work on patience because these people is crazy. Like, no, listen. You're dealing with people that are nuts. They kind of out of their mind. They don't even know it, and no one can diagnose this one. So they just let it escape under the Richter. So, but at the end of the day, if we go and read this book, it's letting you know that they're completely out of their wits. So with that being said, you are responsible to deal with these people as if you are a tutor over a bunch of badass kids. Like, you got to still maintain your cool, because they're going to lose their cool. Like, what? Yeah, I said it. They're going to lose their cool. You must expect it. They ain't built up in strengthened enough in any of these departments that's needed to conduct the actual, you know, fruitful conversation and get somewhere, figure things out. They don't have that, but you do. So with that being said, you have to be the only, like, if need be, you still must be the only one in the room. If it gets to that, you still have to be the only one in the room maintaining the cool, being cool, calm, and collected. And I'm not saying that stuff only because I'm really a professional at practicing that. No, I'll slip up too. I messed up. But these are the things that it's trying to tell you on how to do. But like, you got to learn these things, because your people, once they become destroyed, they become very incoherent. That's what he means by they're stiff-necked and hard-hearted. You know, the stiff-neck is they are really hard to correct. They don't take correction easy. And the hard-hearted is they are very, very, very difficult to move towards any type of guilt or shame. They don't feel none of that. You tell a person like, man, you gotta not be talking to your own people like that, man. That's your brother, man. Shit, cuz I don't give a fuck, nigga. If it ain't this, it's nothing, nigga. You're like, that's unnatural. You know that, right? You like, that's some old unnatural shit. Like, that's not you can't work with that. That's miscombobulated. That's a broken way of thinking. You ain't never gonna have. You ain't gonna never have much. That's how you think. What should you have? Let's get down to the bottom of it. What the hell should a person like that have? Other than a fucking 6x9. What the fuck? You fucking crazy. Person says you ought not to do that. That's your brother. Them your people. Y'all came off from slave ships together, and y'all been acting crazy since. How about this? How about y'all recognize that fact and just go ahead and embrace your common denominator and start trying to treat each other better. As a matter of fact, start reading about your God while you at it. Especially when he sit there and outlines that, hey, this is what you guys gonna go through when you don't keep my commandments. I'm gonna give you guys a spirit to be acting out, all out of your mind. I'm gonna give you that a wicked eye towards your people. As long as you sit around here still going about your own self and saying, I'm gonna do this myself. I'm gonna do wrong. I don't care. That's what a lot of people conclude. They'll steal from each other. They'll look at a nigga, look at another brother and say, shit, I don't give a damn. I'm gonna steal from him. Well, there you go. There's the problems. When people think that way, you're gonna have a lot of BS, a lot of cancerous conditions within your own people. Because the crazy thing about it is they don't really want to go to other people and shoot them. That's the ironic part about it. To me, it was divine. I knew that it had to have something to do with God. It had to have. I could not believe that the Bible had anything realistic if it didn't cover what these black people are doing. And I saw it in there and I'm like, okay, cool. All right. Yeah, this book is legit. This is some real stuff. This is really tailored and custom made for the so-called black man. I get it. But that's how you know that somebody's about their wits. that the Most High Power has put a spirit of confusion upon these people. When they look at each other and don't see anybody else in between them. There's only people that they can see. They see you to kill. They be like, no. They were talking about a Chinese man walking right in between them. An Arab and a Mexican together, walking right in between their view. They didn't even see him. Nah, he just wants to shoot you. There are a million women out there in the world. Nah, man. Million women out there in the world, but the only ones that they're going to treat bad will be their own. Yeah, I said it. I didn't see these brothers at the grocery store holding hands with these damn dogs. Back it up. Yeah, I said that. Holding hands with these damn dogs. Opening up the doors and shit. I'd be like, wow. Ain't that a new thing? Now all of a sudden now, these niggas got their mind right. They courteous. They all in love and shit. Fuck is that, man? And that's some traitor stuff. Let me get that, man. He says, which one was that? Let me open up my book. Then he's talking about in the last days, man, these people, they're gonna be traitors. You know? Yeah, I think this is right here. Nah, I think that wasn't it. I think it was First Timothy. But I'm still let me get that, man. Watch this, man. You're gonna be like, man, there's the last days, man. This is what y'all gonna be dealing with. These are gonna be your guys' peers. All right. Let's go to Second Timothy. All praises to the Most High, man. Second Timothy. Watch this. Second Timothy 3:1. Look what this is, man. We got to know these things. This is what the conditions that we got to develop patience, knowledge, and wisdom in the Holy Spirit to endure, but actually at the same time combat. We got to combat these people with these conditions. Watch this. This know also that in the last days, perilous times shall come. For men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, without natural affection, truce breakers. Over here, it says, wait, hold on, no, keep going. Truce breakers, false accusers, incontinent, people that ain't, they ain't good. They don't think that it's basically they're not satisfied with what they already got. Incontinent, fierce, despisers of those that are good, and what? Traitors. It'll be what? Traitors. Heady, high-minded, lovers of pleasures more than lovers of God, having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof. From such, turn away. You know? And that's what it is, man. We're dealing with a bunch of traitors. We're dealing with a bunch of people that can't actually hold to and commit themselves. You gotta stand up with something, man, or you'll be a liability to do anything. Yeah, I kind of changed the way it went, huh? When they say if you don't stand for something, you're gonna fall for anything. Well, I'm just saying. Well, if you don't hold to nothing, then you're liable to do anything. Shit, like come on now. What kind of dude can you mess with that doesn't actually say, yeah, I'm gonna commit myself to this, or show that he has committed himself to that. You ain't. This dude ain't committed himself to anything. Oh no, man. You an unfaithful individual. Can't nobody put their faith in you. You ain't committed yourself to nothing. You running around without no women. You don't got no wife. You ain't got no kids. You ain't got no job. You like, oh, you're uncommitting. You don't actually apply yourself to nothing. I'm like, you probably don't really have much friends. Like in this spot, it's the lack of your commitment. And what do you? And then when you get all that, ask them like, how you feel about God? I think that God is in everybody. I think that God. Oh, so you're godless, huh? All right. Yeah. Why am I not surprised? Coming from the godless people. Let me see this. What am I getting? 2 Thessalonians 2:11. Why am I getting 2 Thessalonians 2:11? Because as we start at 10, and with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved. For this cause, God shall send them a what? Strong delusion, that they should believe a lie, that they all might be damned and believe not the truth, that believe not the truth, who believe not the truth, but have pleasure in unrighteousness. What? Have pleasure in unrighteousness, that they all might be damned who believe not the truth, but have pleasure in unrighteousness. They had pleasure in unrighteousness. And that's what it is, man. It's people having pleasure. They got some type of sin that they protect. So when you
Some
say,
type
hey,
of wickedness.
right, that they are trying to maintain, so you say, hey, man, we got to keep these commandments. And they be like, nah, and they acting like, oh, man, I ain't feeling it. And it's not. No,
Yeah.
they're being deluded, not realizing that the Most High God is, you actually are offering them all the solutions in their life, all the solutions to the problems in their life.
But they
Yeah.
rather go through that sin and be
Mm-hmm.
like, man, I can't get rid of that one sin. So I ain't gonna go to the most high. I'm gonna go back to this sin because I can't stop this.
God, they don't even want it because they can't see themselves giving up that thing that they actually like the most, whatever sin that it is.
Con.
A lot of people, what I'm saying, it be drugs and stuff they be battling with. Drugs and pornography or some type of, what I'm saying, a way of perversion, whether it's chasing women or just watching it on pornography or whatever. But those things right there trip people up. Another one is actually being obedient. I got a lot of people, they don't even like they don't like the idea of none of that. Obedience. When you go into juvenile halls and all that shit, at least back in the day, they'll call it an authority problem. They're like, you have an authority problem. And you go like, what? What do you mean by that? They'll say you don't like anybody telling you what to do, even if it's good for you. Like that's called an authority problem. You have a problem with authority. And of course, when you're dealing in that field of youth corrections or adult corrections, whichever one it is, yeah, of course, that's going to be one of the things that you're probably going to be consciously aware of because you're going to be dealing with just that. Like the whole populace of those people are the people that has authority problems. But some of them has it more of a higher degree than others. Some of them, once they go to jail, they can actually conform to the rules of the jail as long as they have some type of structure. Their authority problem that they had in society doesn't actually peek through. Because one of the things that some people develop these issues with is having problem with authority is one of them is through allowance, also known as lack of structure. So through allowance and a lack of structure, people will display authority problems, issues with authority, winding themselves up in jail in an environment of authority. And then that's when you'll see some get worse, but then you will see some that they were lacking. Only thing that they was actually doing this behind, or the reason behind it is because they didn't have any structure. It wasn't, in other words, it wasn't laid out easily for him to just fall into a job. You get what I'm saying? It wasn't laid out for him easily, you know, to just get a good running car. You know, those type of things like that. Poverty, basically. Poverty, more poverty you have, less structure seems to come along with it. You become a bum and there's no structure. Well, as long as you have a job, there's some structure. But people that lack jobs have no structure also, especially if you don't have any self-control. If you don't have any type of self-control and self-discipline to where you can actually just start applying yourself, even if you ain't got a job, well, okay, I don't have a job, but I'm going to apply myself and occupy myself still into something that's going to generate some type of positivity, whether it's going to be wealth or whatever. You have those type of structures. Now that you have placed yourself or fabricated, to say it in a better word, for the lack of better words, I guess. You have fabricated and manufactured your structure yourself. But those that have this authority problem, these people, a lot of those people turn out to be non-believers of the Most High God or Christians. That's the one that wants to kind of stay, you know what I'm saying, basically 1 foot in and 1 foot out. You could be a Christian if you have an authority problem. If you say, you know what, I have a problem with people telling me what to do, you know, and that actually carries all the way over to even what's in the Bible. What? So what? Well, guess what? You know, there's a place for someone to still be accepted. The moment that person says, you know what, I'm gonna turn my disobedience down 1 notch. Like I think I'm gonna just like love me some J-bomb. I'm gonna love me J-bomb. Like I want to do that now. Like yeah, you're gonna be able to go right into a church, get taught to love J-bomb, fall out maybe a couple times, fall out, shake on the ground, babble for a little bit, all that shit. You're gonna get taught to get all of that and still maintain your level of disobedience. Still get to maintain your whole lifestyle of the lifestyle of authority problems. I reject authority, but I want to love me some J-bomb, and the Christian church was a snug glove. I think I'm gonna still get into heaven being disobedient because I went right there to that corner dope spot, that corner trap house that people just been deceived and led to believe that it's a church of God. I went right up in there and I got my brainwashing that I needed to where I was capable of being fully convinced that, yeah, I'm in a safe case and I can maintain disobedience. I can keep my authority problem. Fantastic. And that's the reason why people are willing to give that guy so much money. It's because throughout the week you're gonna start getting other results. You're gonna start like, well, I don't know, man. I don't think I'm in a good case. You're like, maybe I need to go back next week. Up on re-up on my license to sin. All right. And say I gotta go back to church, re-up on my license to sin. Last week I only gave him $20 in the plate. I think that's the reason why too. But I did see a couple of hundreds up in there when it came around my way. I was wondering who did it. He must have been in my predicament. So this time I'm gonna throw in 100, and that's how it works. That's how it works. In contrary on how it's actually supposed to work. You not saying you ain't supposed to be breaking off the pastor. Yeah, you is. What? Battle Ash, you said that? Yeah, I said it. You are supposed to break off the pastor. Supposed to be giving him something. I can see that. That's very obvious. Other than that, I don't know why. I don't even know how he could maintain his position to be sitting there with you every week. How the hell is his bills is going to get paid if he's sitting around here reading to be able to teach you every damn week? You got to pay him something. Come on now, let's make common sense. But at the end of the day, though, you're supposed to be learning. You're supposed to be learning from this guy, man. Let me go to Malachi, man. He says right here, Malachi 2. This is what is supposed to be going down. All right. It says, for the priest's lips should keep knowledge, and they should what? You should seek the law at his mouth. All right? Because he is the messenger of the Most High. He's the messenger of Yahweh, Tabah, or the Lord of hosts. So you're supposed to be seeking the law at his mouth, man. When you walk up in there, he's supposed to be looking at y'all, and he's supposed to say, is everybody up in here still maintaining their abstinence from pork? Don't be lying today. And they say, yeah, I thought that I could eat pork. You thought that you could eat pork? Well, didn't TD Jake said that you can eat anything as long as you pray over it? He said anything that God gave you. God didn't give you pork. Everything that God gave you, clean and unclean, or broken and spotted, maimed or whatever, like you can eat that. Yeah, you can eat a spotted cow. You know what I'm saying? You can eat a deer that has a broken leg. Yeah, you can't offer that. It's unclean to offer that to God. But it's not unclean for you to eat. He said, but there are some things in there that is just still abominations. He said, you must abhor from them. We go, so shall we go to Leviticus 11:7? So we can remind you that the swine is an abomination, that God has not given you that. Oh, whenever God has given us the clean and unclean, or in other words, in modern language translation of how we speak. All right, the spotted and the unspotted. Everything that God gave you, whether it got some type of or the defected or the undefected, if it has some defects to it, you can eat it as food, but you can't sacrifice it to God as an offering. All right, that's how it's supposed to go. You're like, oh man, but Joel Osteen is a homo. No, no, no. Matter of fact, Joel Osteen is a woman, and T.D. Jakes is a flaming faggot. Okay, what? Yeah, I said it. Joel Osteen is a woman, and T.D. Snakes is a fruit basket. So don't you go running off listening to any of these pastor pork chops. And they little greasy doctrines. Because the Most High said in the book of Malachi that the priest's lips should know knowledge, and they should seek the law at his mouth. And they say knowledge of what? But everything is knowledge. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm a carpenter, you know what I'm saying? I got knowledge in that. No, we don't do it like that. This is knowledge, man. This is knowledge. Knowledge breaks down to understanding of something. Well, the Most High let us know now that these are the things that you, as a royal people, as royalty, he says, Deuteronomy 4 and 5, behold, I've taught you statutes and judgments, even as the Lord my God commanded me, that you should do so in the land whither you go to possess it. Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and understanding in the sight of the nations, which shall hear these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people. All right? That's what's supposed to be going down, man. That's what you're supposed to be learning, getting your re-up. That's what you're supposed to be re-upping on. You're supposed to be re-upping on this every week from God through his messengers, like he says it, because he is the messenger of the Lord of hosts. So these are commands and messages and texts that the Most High God has sent out to you. And he's supposed to be the one, he's the mailman. And the mailman over here that we got, TD Snakes and Pastor Pork Chop on the corner, are this, they got some type of scam running to where you ain't been receiving your mail, but these people has been keeping your mail and been sending you nothing but the junk mail. All the stuff about your bills, your PG&E and everything like that. Oh, no. TD Jakes, Pastor Pork Chop, also known as the mailman. Oh no, they kept your mail. They over there playing and sneaking around, and they know it. They know damn well what they doing. This is not something they accidentally doing. They looked right at the mail. They're like, okay, the address with some street. Oh yeah, I know about that nigga right here. They said, no, I'm not mailing this nigga his shit. Like, why? You like, but his bills are gonna get cut off. I don't care. And I'm gonna show up, and I'm gonna give him all the junk mail. Give him a couple of coupons too. Make him think that everything is still normal. Give him a couple coupons. There goes your job. Ain't nothing but a bunch of coupons these people giving you, man. In replace for your real mail, the real message from God. Like there's a letter that I'm supposed to be receiving from God, though. Like, man, I wonder where that's come. Where's that at? Like, you see that coupon book right there? You're like, yeah. You like, see where it's addressed at? You're like, You're like, yeah. It says from God. You're like, oh yeah, that was a good one. You wrote that one on there that the other day, didn't you? Like, yeah, you remember that? Like, yeah, that was crazy. That's exactly what's happening to us. They're doing that with the Bible. They're taking this message and they are literally diverting you from what God said. And they're saying, hey, man, no. You only had the coupon book coming. Ain't that right there, your name right there? Look, it said right there. Oh, well, it says, to that address, to whomever of the address of what is such and street. You might say that's yours. I think that's God right there, remember? Oh, man. Don't fall for that shit. That was a real good analogy. I like that. And I hope that y'all actually was able to grasp this, man, because this was heavy. Yo, Morgan. Hey, you can hit Aqua lot?
Yeah, I called him, but he don't answer.
Oh, okay. Well, you got the alert?
Yeah, I got the alert. That's all right. I hopped on.
All right, cool. Yeah, but I was making sure. I didn't want to keep rocking out on the brother if he didn't get the alert. But okay, his phone probably dead.
I could call him again, but I might have to walk out. It's gonna lock me out. You're gonna have to lock me back in.
It's cool. I'm gonna shut this one down and start another one. I got a prophetic word that needs to be brought out.
Oh, okay.
I got a video that I put out there. I mean, not a video, but a presentation slideshow. We could discuss that.
Yeah, I'm in all of it. I ain't tripping.
Yeah. I'll start it up.
All right.
All praise to the Most High, Bahashan, Yah, Shai, Hamash, Yah. With the children of the Most High God, man. Kwam Yasharala. That means arise, Israel. We the chosen people, man. We in the last stretch. We in the last days. That final hour. Don't lose hope. Don't lose momentum. Keep up the good works. Don't just be a hearer of the word, but be a doer also. Put these law, statutes, and commandments into action and memorize them. Maintain them in your heart. So when we get up out of here, the land that we will be in will be holy. You feel me? And until then, on the next show, within a few minutes, Maranatha.